What's up, guys? Okay, the revolver's all clean and ready to put back together. Don't you love my mess here? Freaking dirty ass stain right here, dirt here, whatever. That's what I always say. Okay, so reassembly. I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm trying to make a short video. Work with me. First things first. The cylinder stop. That's going to go in. It's going to slide over this post right here, the one closest to the front of the muzzle. That's going to slide in just like that. The top of the part's going to go up over that thing, over the other post. Oh, excuse me. Flip that up. Okay, now we're going to put the trigger assembly in. I'm going to wipe this down a little bit. It's got some shit on it. Okay. Now you take the trigger and the transfer bar, sorry. And you're gonna put that into the bottom hole of the trigger. So right here in this hole right here. Put that in that hole. Hold that in as you slide it down over that pin right there. Now you can see that goes up and down. Now, I think that it's probably easier to put this in first. Let's try it. It might not work. I might have to stop the camera. But that's the trigger spring. So, and there's going to be a little dimple on the inside of the trigger, so make sure you line that up. There we go. Good to go. First, there's gonna be a little hole right here in the trigger. You're gonna toss in that little spring. Spring drop down in there. You're gonna stick in that plunger in the back of that trigger. Just like that. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, now the cylinder hand is gonna, the bottom post here is gonna rest against that plunger that's in the trigger, so that's gonna keep the cylinder hand forward, keeping the cylinder to push the cylinder up, but that's going to keep spring tension on it towards the muzzle of the gun. So push that plunger in, at the same time slide that second shorter rod into the same hole that the transfer bar is on. Just push that down. And then push it down and push it forward. Okay. And it should all run softly. As you can see, you pull the trigger and transfer bar goes up in front of the firing pin. Let go of the trigger and it drops down. Everything's working good. Trigger spring's working good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to install the hammer. Let me wipe this off real quick. Okay, Now you take this hammer, pull the trigger back just a tad so that the hammer, this little prong right here, can fit right there on the back side of the trigger. And you're gonna have to work it in there. Might take a little bit. There you go. Just work it, you'll get it in. See how that sits? Okay. And then that's pretty much it. That's good for the internals. We'll throw the plate back on. As you can remember, it has that part on the top. You're going to put that in there, just like so. And push that down. Fit and finish on this gun's pretty tight. That's a good thing. There we go. You got that. Now, you're going to take your cylinder, the spring, slide that in there, just like that, just like so. I'm going to put a tad little bit of grease on that cylinder rod right there. I think they call this the crane. Put that on there, just a tad bit of lubricant, and we'll slide that down right in there. Oh, come on. It's messing with me now. Boom. So that slides in real nice. Click that back together there like that. Put your 2 rear springs in first. Screws. And then your your cylinder keeper, screw it in the front. And then with your hammer spring, all you're going to do is just tuck it up in the case there, put it down into where it's supposed to seat, pull the trigger. God, I'm all over the place. Pull the hammer back so that there's tension on the spring, pull out your safety pin, and release the hammer. Now you're going to tighten these up. I'm going to put everything back together, guys, and then I'll show you how she runs. Check her out, guys. Running good. Everything's good to go. Cool, guys. That's my assembly and disassembly. Take care. Be safe. Later.